Okay, picking up on page 229 in your book, Designing the Background. In the last tutorial, you learned how to set the background color using the background color property. CSS also supports the background images using the background images code, where the URL defines the name and location of the background image file. Background images can be added to almost any page element. For example, the style rule for the body will look like what's at the top of page 230. It displays the image file cyclist in the background of the web page body. Background images options. When a browser loads a background image, it repeats the image in both the vertical and horizontal directions until the entire background is filled. This process is known as tiling because its similarity to the process of filling up a floor or other surface with tiles. You can specify the direction of tiling using the style, background repeat, and then type, where type is repeat, default, or repeat X, repeat Y, no repeat, round, or space. And you can see at the bottom of page 230 what all of those look like. Tip at the top of page 231, you can use negative distances to move an image to the left or up from the top left corner of an element, just an FYI. By default, browsers place the background image in the element's upper left corner, and then, if the code specifies tiling, the image is repeated from there. You can change the initial position of a background image by using the background position property, where horizontal is the horizontal position of the image and vertical is the vertical position. The image's position is defined by A, the distance from the top left corner using a percentage of the element's width or height, or C, a keyword. Keyword options are top, center, or bottom for vertical position, and left, center, or right for horizontal placement. And they give you some examples where background position 10%, 20% sets the initial position of the image 10% of the width to the right and 20% of the length down from the upper left corner, while background position bottom right places the image at the lower right corner of the element. If you include only one position value, browsers apply that value to the horizontal position and vertically center the image. Thus, the style background position 30 pixels places the background image 30 pixels to the right of the element's left border and centers it vertically. By default, a background image moves along the element content as a user scrolls through the page. You can change this using the property background attachment type, where type is scroll, fixed, or local. The default, scroll, scrolls the background along with the document, while the fixed keyword fixes the background in the browser window, even as the user scrolls through the document. A fixed background image can be used to create a watermark effect in which a subtle, often translucent, graphic is displayed behind elements to mimic the watermarks found on some specialized stationery. Finally, the local keyword is similar to scroll, but is used for elements such as scroll boxes to allow the element background to scroll along with the element content. CSS3 background styles. There are several style properties for background images, most of which have now gained popular acceptance among current browsers. The first is the background size property, which sets the size of an element's background image. This property looks like background size and then width and height, where width and height are the width and height of the image in one of the CSS units of length, or as a percentage of the elements width and height, or the keywords auto, cover, or curtain. For example, the following style sets the size of the background image to 300 pixels wide by 200 pixels high. The auto keyword allows the browser to set the background image automatically based on the size of the image file. The style background size auto 200 pix sets the height of the background image to 200 and automatically sets the width to retain the image proportions. The cover keyword tells browsers to scale the image in order to cover all of the background while still retaining the proportions of the image, even if that means cropping the image. The contain keyword, on the other hand, tells browsers to scale the image so that all of the image is completely contained within the element, even that means that not all elements is covered by the image. Okay, and they show you see some examples there on 4.7. You can see all of these. Okay, thus to create a background image that is half the width and height of the containing element, centered vertically and horizontally, and not tiled, you could apply the following styles. Okay, and then the box model discussed earlier, every element contains a content box, a padding box, and a border box. You can define the extent of a background image or color using the style background clip box, where box is content box, padding box, or border box, as shown in figure 4.8, so you can see it there at the top. Finally, you can specify the context of the background position property using background origin, where box is once again all of those, and you can see the example there on page 233. Background shorthand property, like the font property discussed in the last tutorial, you can combine the various background properties into the shorthand property. Background color, URL, attachment, position, repeat, where color, URL, attachment, position, and repeat are values corresponding to the background color, background image, background attachment, background position, and background repeat, respectively. If you don't specify all of the values in the shorthand property, browsers assume default values for the missing properties. Okay, and they show you an example down there on the bottom of page 233. The CSS3 provides an expanded form of the background property that includes values for image size, origin, and location. Okay, multiple image backgrounds, they talk about that on page 234 also, using several different images. There's a couple tips on page 234. The different background properties can be listed in any order, but you should be consistent in your ordering to make your code easier to edit and easier for others to read. Also, another tip, with multiple backgrounds, specify the background color last so that your background images are loaded on top of it. You can specify only one background color. So then we're at page 235, formatting the background. You can see different code there that you can look back to help you. Adding a page background. Now we're going to get a chance to do it for the pathology homepage. So we're going to open our CP style text.css. It's CP styles text right here. I'm going to right click, open with Notepad. I'm going to type my name and the date. And then I'm going to save it as file, save as, and get rid of the .t or the txt. Okay, and then below the comment section, we're going to insert the following style rule. So right here, we're using the shorthand version. Okay, then on page 236 it says to save it, Control S, and then we are going to return to the cycle file and refresh. Oh, we forgot to we got to attach that to our sheet. So we need to go to Cycle. Here it is. Open with Notepad. We got to insert the link for the CP styles. So I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to change this. CP styles. Save it. Come back over here. Refresh. And now you can see, just like it shows there on page 236, the big background image.